Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Aquarius for January 2016. Check out my website, anniehelpsyou.com, or click on the link below this video. You can see more there about my new astrology blog. I blog on other topics as well, and you can see things about my 28-day virtual coaching program called Shine, which is intended to help you bring your shine into the world and transcend the planetary factors to step into your highest expression. That's available on a sliding scale, and you can see more on my website. So what's going on in this alleged new year? If you've been watching my videos for a while, you will know that I am not a fan of Happy New Year being in January. It does not energetically feel like a new year. It is not astrologically a new year. It was decided by Julius Caesar thousands of years ago that in BC, like 46 BC, that we were going to move to a solar-based calendar rather than a lunar-based calendar. The old calendar started our new year in March, which feels right to me. That's when I celebrate New Year. And this particular month especially, there is so much energy that is making it not like a new year. It is not bursting forward with new freshness. I don't want to discourage you if you're excited about trying to do some new things for yourself. It's always in fashion to do something for your spiritual or other development, or physical development, or taking care of yourself, but you'll have more momentum if you start your resolutions before January. It's hard to do it in the holidays, and most people are going to say, oh, I'm going to put off all these things until January. This is what people do. That is a huge mistake this year because we've got Mercury retrograde, we've got Jupiter going retrograde, we have a bunch of aspects with Pluto, some really intense aspects with Pluto, we've got challenging aspects with Uranus, there's squares. So this month is full of alchemical potential. Within the challenges and the backwards nature of the energy, there's a huge chance for blazing forward. The way I look at this energetically is, let's say there was water flowing naturally, and this represents the life force, the chi that moves through us. Okay, so let's talk about the water flowing, and then there's a dam, and the dam represents a block that we have within ourselves. So the water starts to dam up, and then it finds a way around the natural flow. But the trickle or the movement of the water is not as robust as it would have been if it was going the way that it was easier. So this is what happens to us. We have our life force energy moving around blocks within us, activated by the challenges of the stars to show us where the blocks are. And so our life force energy in the form of our life experience is more of a trickle rather than a whoosh, so then when we have a challenging aspect, it's challenging, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say, oh, it's going to be easy and fabulous all the time, but therein lies the potential to take that raw fuel and blaze it towards the dam or towards the block. Sometimes you need that conflict and as a catalyst to stop taking the easy way out. We adapt so easily, just like water moves around a blockage. And so if you've been putting up with things that maybe the universe doesn't want you to, it's not in your best interest, if you've gotten used to something, if you've accepted something that is not the best case scenario, these are the kind of aspects in this month, January, that can help you to force through and break up the dam so that the more full version of your life force energy running through yourself and your experiences has a chance to just be unleashed upon the land in wonderful ways. So we've got Mercury going retrograde. January 25th, Mercury goes in retrograde. It retrogrades from the beginning of Aquarius into Capricorn. It stays retrograde until January 25th. The shadow period started December 20th, and the shadow period afterwards goes through February 15th. So the full Mercury retrograde cycle runs from December 20th through February 15th, but the most active part of it is in the last couple of days of December into all of January. So this you can see very clearly, besides the fact that in many parts of the world, in the northern hemisphere anyway, it's a time that is very quiet and cold and inward. It's also energetically in Capricorn, this is a very serious, earthy, practical kind of energy. It's not the energy of sparkles, we'll say, and that's the New Year energy that happens in March when the planets start going into Aries. So just any number of reasons why this isn't your month to just do all your new projects, and it's not the best idea to wait to do everything until January. You want to start things well enough beforehand so that you have some momentum, so that when the blocks start happening, at least you would have gotten some stuff done. Either that or wait until after the energies start to regulate after the middle of February. So what is specifically going on for Aquarius? Well, some of you have birthdays. Happy birthday to our earlier in the sign born Aquariuses. If you've been watching my horoscope since your last birthday, then you know I get really worked up about birthdays. I think they're fantastic. And astrologically, this is a really huge power time for you. The sun in the sky represents the things that you want, your desires, what brings you vitality. And so when the placement of the sun in the sky gets back to the same point as it was at your chart, it creates this portal that's open, that the universe is more receptive to your wishes at that time, hence the birthday wishes. So birthday wishes are astrological, and I use using 10 birthday wishes. You can do whatever feels right for you, but you want to say them out loud, you want to write them down, you want to have a good clear idea about them before your birthday, and you want to feel them as if they're coming true. That is, if you read any text about manifestation, the biggest piece of manifestation and working with wishing and creating your reality is that you have to feel it as if it's true already before it's actually true. And when you do that on your birthday, that carries much further. I've heard of people and seen thousands of experiences with this myself, where things just happen in a very short amount of time when you line things up astrologically with the right energies. So you have a chance to do that on your birthday. What happens before your birthday is the personal planets, in this case, Mercury is starting off for you earlier placements, you've got the sun there, movement into the 12th house. So there's this darker period that occurs before your birthday when there's this huge amount of energy, movement, activity, busyness in your deep unconscious mind. And this is by design. So you might have thought, if you feel crappy in the time before your birthday, that it was because you're reflecting upon your life. Maybe you don't feel like you've accomplished the things you want to accomplish. You feel like you're getting older. You're aware of the ticking clock. You know, these are common things that people tend to think about before their birthdays. But really, I think those are just excuses as to explain why people don't feel very good sometimes in the time before their birthday. And that's because the sun comes in, and sometimes other planets, and it lights up this sector of like the attic or the basement in your house. This is your deep unconscious mind. This is the under the rug where you sweep things, where you put things. It's the garage. It's the place where you don't want to deal with things and you put them there. Well, when the sun is there or Mercury is there, and this is true for all Aquariuses, you have the earlier placements will have the sun there. All of you will have Mercury there. So regardless of where your placement is, this is happening for you in January. There's this busyness saying, hey, what about this? What about that? Fears, real or imagined, blocks, disappointments, feeling disconnected. This all goes on before your birthday. Again, it's by design. You know, I am an optimist, and I feel like the things that happen to us are not happening to us to torture us. They're happening by design. And if we can get in sync with the reasons why they're happening and utilize them for the purpose that they're bringing, then we can maximize the results. So the universe, before you have this chance to wish for your new life through your birthday wishes, wants you to become really aware of the things that aren't working, the things that are still a problem, the things that are still bothering you, the things that aren't quite right, so that you can make your wishes based on these things that need a little bit more work. Isn't it beautiful? So that's part of what you all have going on in the month of January, is this pre-work to the rebirth that happens on your birthday. And this energy, it's true for you even if you have Aquarius rising, or if you're looking at it for your moon. You know, it's a little bit different when you're looking for your sun, but the energies that I'm describing are still the same. You know, it's this reevaluation process that leads to you bursting forward into deeper levels of fulfillment if you use the energy that way. Okay, so all of you have energy in your 10th house as well. So Venus is transiting there. Venus, I always think about my grandmother Marge, my little Italian grandmother, who would run up to me and grab me by the face and kiss me on the mouth and shove a meatball in my mouth and slip me some cash. That's what Venus is like. Wherever I see Venus in a chart, I imagine my grandma Marge going around kissing people, giving them meatballs or tofu balls or whatever the situation is, and giving them some money. Because Venus rules love, affection, it rules sensual fulfillment, it rules harmony, it rules good feelings and sweetness, and it rules money. So you have this grandma Marge running crazy in your house of career, work, and life purpose. And that's really sweet. You know, this happens about once every 18 months for several weeks. And so the chance for you to get recognized, to get a raise, to get more money, to get noticed, appreciated, paid is increased. Everything in astrology is like a statistical game. You know, we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we do know that the odds are increased when certain placements or planets are in certain places. And so the odds are very much increased that harmony, money, recognition is going to come for you at this time. We also have strong energy in the 9th house, and this is where Mars is. For you later degree placements, this might not be quite active yet, but it will be soon. Mars is like the border collie of the personal planets. The personal planets are the ones that move quickly, more quickly around in their orbit. So the moon cycles, Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars. So Mars is like this ball of panic, you know, that can be really aggressive or assertive, or it can turn into like nipping, you know how border collies do when they get worked up. That's where Mars is. It's this force. And how I always describe it, it's like what you're gung-ho about. If you're like, wow, I'm really hot on this right now. Gosh, wow, I'm really worked up about this right now. I'm really excited about this. I'm really focused on this. It probably has something to do with Mars in wherever it is. And for most of you at this time, like I said, if not, it will be soon, this gung-ho energy is moving through your 9th house. And this is the house of teaching and learning and education and publishing and broadcasting and sharing information, international relations, churches, spiritual beliefs, philosophy, different cultures, different language, different countries, long distance travel. So, and also studying things. I'll often see when people have Mars moving through their 9th house, they're like, gosh, I'm such a voracious reader right now. I just can't put anything down. I'm just reading everything that comes near me. I'm learning everything. I'm so open. You know, a lot of times there's this 2-year cycle where it takes about 2 years before Mars will get back to your 9th house. But there's like this cycle of expansion that goes on. That's the house of Sagittarius. The cycle of expansion, and Mars moves through and it improves or increases or expands your viewpoints on things. So with an expanded perception, you can have an expanded experience. And so all of you are going to have that now, or have that coming, where you have a chance to be moved into this, this bigger picture. So we've got the new moon on January 9th in Capricorn. That new moon has challenging aspects near it. The sun on January 7th is squaring Uranus. Jupiter goes retrograde on January 8th. It's not a picnic in the park type of a new moon, but it still does carry the power of wishing. Speaking of wishing, timing wishes with certain astrological transits brings more power to what you're wishing for. There's a wonderful book called New Moon Astrology by Jan Spiller, and you get to learn a lot about the signs and the nature of what they rule by doing this study. But it's like a super fun way to learn about astrology and to work with the new moons. So she says if you line up your wishes according to what sign the new moon is in, so like for instance, this is new moon in Capricorn, so this is the best month of the whole year, the best new moon, of the best day of the whole year to make your wishes for anything 10th house, which is career, work, life purpose, interactions with authority figures, interactions with father figures, unresolved things with father. Sometimes someone's mom will show up in there too, a parental authority figure that is has a female energy. But all of these things are the best things to make your new moon wishes for. So you don't have to let these other challenging aspects interfere with your wishing. Just know it's laden with some pricklies, we'll call them at this point. And there's quite a lot of that goes on this month. There's some major aspects with Pluto in the beginning and the end of the month that's pushing us to go deeper, asking deeper questions and probing into the nature of things, the mysteries. And Pluto also rules the atomic bomb, so it can be very combustive. So lots of retrograde energy, lots of internal energy. It doesn't mean that you can't accomplish anything during this month. You can accomplish a lot on every level. But when we're working with a retrograde, it's not the time to push agendas. It's not the time to push things forward. It's the time to respond and let the universe direct your energy. So if you're trying to work on a project, sometimes when it's Mercury retrograde, I think of, there was a book that I was writing and I was just determined to get this book finished. And since it was something I had been working on already, I thought, okay, well, it's perfect in Mercury retrograde because I'm going back to it. And I kept forcing it, and then I had it finished, I had it formatted, and then it disappeared. But I had a number of problems with it that I was pushing my way through before then. Universe was saying, you're not supposed to be focusing on that right now. You're not supposed to be focusing on that right now. But I have Aries rising, and even as an astrologer who knows better, it's taken me a little while to learn certain lessons of the stars, and this is one of them. Mercury will tell you when you're not supposed to be focusing on something. Listen to the signs and put your energy towards something else, Very good chance that the thing you were going to do is going to look a whole lot different after this retrospective time when you go back to it, when the energy is a little bit more clear for you. So those are the main topics that are coming up to be discussed. Definitely go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com. You can see more about my personal coaching packages. You can see more about my 28-day virtual coaching program called Shine. I also have a program called Unleash Your Money Magnets. This is a wonderful time to do inner work. Every time's a wonderful time to do inner work, but with these Pluto energies going deep and these retrograde energies going backwards, it's a fantastic time to excavate the sources of the blocks within you that the transits are bringing up, reflecting in your experience. It's always an inside job. The transits show us weak links so that we can work with weak links to strengthen them so that we can bust through the dam. So check it out, anniehelpsyou.com, my Shine program, and all the other things I have on my website, my astrology blog that gives more succinct explanation of your need to know per sign. I'm not known for my succinctness, but I am starting this blog as of December where you'll have your monthly need to know for each sign that summarizes some of the points that I make in the horoscopes. So check that out. I hope you have a wonderful month and a wonderful start to your alleged new year, and I'll see you next month. Bye.